every one of you guys know that one person who's recognized by all generations as the most beautiful woman of all time. And in this video, we will tell you all about Marilyn Monroe and all the secrets she kept from her fans in her life. Marilyn Monroe was born on June 1st, 1926 in Los Angeles, California. However, the beautiful blonde was not called Marilyn Monroe until March 1956, since in her birth certificate she is registered as Norma Jean Mortensen. But shortly after her birth, her mother decided to baptize her with her own surname, which was Baker, and that is how she ended up being Norma Jean Baker. During her modeling career, the name changed and she was known as Norma Jean or Mona Monroe. And before deciding on her legendary artistic name at the end of 50s, the model had thought about Jean Adair, and in fact, it is known that on some occasions she registered in a hotel under the name Zelda Zong and in a mental health clinic as Faye Miller. The first stage of her life was quite complicated, firstly because of the instability of her mother to take care of her, so Monroe had to spend several years of her childhood living in a temporary home, in the house of some relatives, and even in an orphanage in Los Angeles. Whatever she went through for sure had a huge impact on her emotionally and turned her into an unstable and depressed woman in later years. To run away from that horror, on June 19, 1942, Monroe married Jim Daugherty for the first time at the age of 16 and began working in a radioplane munitions factory. Some years later, at the age of 19, Marilyn began her career in the world of modeling, dyed her hair blonde, which became her iconic look, and signed a contract with Blue Book Modeling Agency. During that time, she posed for racy photos in the pure style of the pinup girls, for which she received $10 for a 1-hour photo session. And this way, the stunning blonde earned millions as a whole. In 2011, one of those pastel pinups was sold for $83,650. 1946 was a year of change for Monroe because in that year she divorced her first husband and signed her first contract as an actress with 20th Century Fox. Jimmy was only the first out of 3 husbands that she had throughout her life because in 1954 she married the legendary New York Yankee baseball player Joe DiMaggio. But their marriage lasted less than a year, and in 1956, only 2 years later, she said yes to the screenwriter Arthur Miller, who was considered as one of the greatest American writers of theatrical works of the 20th century. In order to be accepted in the community of her last husband, Monroe converted to Judaism at the age of 18. Although in 1949 she received her first role in the Marx Brothers' Love Happy, it was during 1950s that Monroe's career finally began to take off. In the early 50s, Marilyn underwent minor cosmetic surgery to remove a cartilage bump from her nose. Everything went smoothly in her professional life, and in 1951, she had the honor of presenting the Oscar for the Best Sound Recording. During her brief but successful career, Monroe played in 29 films between 1946 and 1961. Her most iconic movies are The Asphalt Jungle, All About Eve, Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, and the comedy How to Marry a Millionaire. However, despite having such a unique beauty, it is known that Marilyn had problems memorizing her dialogues and that she rarely came to work without any acting instructor. Despite all of this, her films raised more than $200 million. Monroe was always characterized as a very insecure person and even allegedly suffered from anxiety and depression. The reason behind this can be that, according to the actress herself, she was abused when she was only 11 years old. That, plus the hell she was living next to her last husband, Arthur Miller. Because it is said that after the success of one of his most famous works, the writer began to neglect his marriage and cheat on Marilyn with other women, which was one of the possible reasons of Monroe's deep and deadly depression. I mean, why would you cheat on someone this beautiful? And even director Elia Kazan. Not to mention the rumors that relate her in her last days with the ex-president John F. Kennedy, to whom she sang that unforgettable and legendary Happy Birthday, Mr. President, on May 19, 1962, during the celebration of 25th birthday of the then President of the United States. Some also claim that she had an affair with another Kennedy, Robert, John's brother. On August 5th, 1962, Marilyn Monroe's body was found dead at the age of 36, with an empty bottle of a sleeping pill next to her bed. Although for many years there were speculations about an alleged murder, the official cause of her death indicate that it was an overdose. After her tragic departure, her first husband, Joe, arranged everything so that 3 times a week, several roses were brought to her crib in Los Angeles. In addition to her artistic legacy and iconic figure, which has been imitated by artists such as Lady Gaga, Gwen Stefani, and Madonna, Monroe left a net worth estimated at $27 million that continues to rise. Just to give you an idea, in 1999, during an auction, the singer Mariah Carey acquired her legendary white piano for $662,500. That is a lot of money. From all the information that I shared with you, which point you did not know about her, and what is your favorite movie of her? I would love to know what you think.